The Aaron Blanchfield versus Macy Barber main event got canceled at the last second as they're getting ready to walk out because Barber apparently had a seizure. Blanchfield still calls Barber unprofessional, which something may be going too far. She had a seizure, but maybe Blanchfield doesn't believe she actually did or thinks her being unprofessional is what led to it. Regardless, Blanchfield didn't hold back her
Pretty
thoughts.
crazy, pretty unprofessional. Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight her again.
Do you know what happened?
I was told she had a seizure in the locker room. I don't know like how or why exactly that was caused, but that's what I was told.
Missed weight yesterday. I guess, was there concerns then? How disappointed were you with that?
Yeah, I mean, when she missed weight yesterday, I definitely thought that was strange. I mean, I didn't care. I was going to take her money. I would have took her win money tonight too, but there's definitely some concern considering we've had this fight for a while. You know, we're supposed to be the top 5 in the world, be professional, be the best in the world. So yeah, that was concerning.
How close were you to the walk? Were you in the doorway or were you?
Literally, I was literally in the doorway. I already had everything gloved up. All my corners were ready to go. Literally in the doorway, like getting ready to like walk out, and then was told.
Did it feel a little bit strange? I mean, normally you know you've been in that doorway before. Could you tell something was off because they were extra holding you back? And how did they broach the whole subject with you?
I could tell. You know, it's funny. It's funny that you said that because I remember they said 6 minutes, and I was like, this feels like a lot longer. Like it didn't feel like 6 minutes. No one said anything until like Hunter came in and told me, you know, that she was having a seizure and that she wouldn't be able to compete. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's almost like a nightmare kind of thing. You know, you almost when you have jitters, you're like, oh, maybe something will happen. The fight won't happen, but you never want that. You know what I mean? It's yeah, it's pretty disappointing.
And if this is something that the seizure and the things is related to like cutting issues and that, would your message to be her to possibly look at a different division because obviously this one's maybe not working well for her?
Yeah, I don't know. She needs to look at another division. She needs to fix her life. She needs to just fix herself. I think she's a complete mess in every aspect of her entire life. Yeah, I don't know. I've never had anything crazy. I've never even had any other opponents like miss weight before or, you know, act the way that she does. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy, especially, you know, at this level. You expect all the athletes to be professional, so it's pretty wild.
Aaron Blanchfield's management team says she will be paid her show and her win money for Saturday's fight. Macy Barber's Instagram account had a lot of comments. People actually believing this was a seizure and not a panic attack. Aaron called it, being dehydrated can cause seizures. I hope she's okay. Barber got a better pullout game than some men. Don't feel discouraged. You're a warrior. Pulled out after all that yapping. Shit your pants last minute after all that talking. Fight of the night was Dos Santos versus Ardeleon. It was a pretty good fight. That was actually the very first fight of the entire card. Jordan Levitt got a performance bonus for choking out Kurt Holloway. Well deserved. There was also another chokeout victory. Ramiz Brahimaj. He choked out Billy Goff and got a performance bonus as well. They got referee cams now in the UFC, and the referee cam on that chokeout victory was kind of crazy with Billy Goff being choked out. This event ended up being a very odd one. There was problems with it up until the very last second, causing the main event cancellation, which resulted in only 9 fights taking place on the card. So yeah, very strange event. Fight of the month was Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena for the welterweight title. Bilal Muhammad sometimes criticized for being a boring fighter, but that fight was not a boring fight at all. They went to war for 5 rounds for the belt, and JDM took it. UFC Noche moves to San Antonio, Texas in the Frost Bank Center. Originally, it's supposed to be in Guadalajara, but Arena Guadalajara has delays. This journalist is vindicated in March, the day the UFC announced the event in Guadalajara. I asked about assurances for their date because of delays in the arena. I was told that they didn't appreciate that line of questioning. Been on it since then and reported delays last week. Hate to say, I told you so. So San Antonio benefits from this. They get a pay-per-view. Arman Sarukian thinks he needs to take chances now to get the opportunities he's looking for at the top. So he's willing to be a backup fighter for Poirier versus Holloway, as well as Charles Oliveira versus Ilya Topuria. Sean O'Malley wants to fight 7-8 more years. He's going to be fighting next weekend against Marab for the belt.
I train in the morning, recover, take a nap in the day, train again in the afternoon. It's like I don't really have energy to go do stuff. And right now I'm so focused on just like, not even just fighting Marab, but like I want to fight till I'm 37, 38. Like I'll fight as long as my body holds up. And for that to be the case, I have to take recovery as serious as I take training, and I have been doing that, and I think it'll pay off. And I'm 30 now.
Yeah.
And I think I got some good years in me.
Sean Strickland thinks most fighters in the UFC are going to be foreigners as opposed to Americans in the future because the UFC pays so little. Americans can't afford to be fighting in the UFC and live off that. But historically, the UFC has paid like that. It's always been like that. MMA is not a sport that you get into to try and become rich. And there's no shortage of American fighters at the moment. 206 out of the 595 fighters on the roster are American. Then 109 Brazilian, 23 Russians, 20 Mexicans, 19 Australians, 18 Chinese fighters. So this composition is actually somewhat similar to how it's always been. It's always been America number one, then Brazilians, and then Russians for the most part. That's how it's always been.
I don't know, dude. Like, the problem with the UFC, dude, is they don't pay anybody. They don't pay guys shit. So, like, the reason why you're seeing everybody in the roster and Ahmed and, you know, Jose and whatever Brazilian name, you know, is because, like, the UFC doesn't pay any guys money. So I think what you're going to have is you're going to have an entire roster filled of just foreigners. Right? Don't get me wrong, dude. It's fun to go watch Pakistani caveman fight, but at some point, dude, like, they aren't American. They don't have American beliefs. They don't have American ideals. So it's like, at some point, when the whole roster doesn't speak English because the UFC's cheap and they don't pay anybody anything, like, at some point, dude,
they pay pretty good though, right? Like for like, I would say like
they pay for
champion contenders.
So they pay the top 5 things pretty good, but they don't pay, like, you would make more money working at fucking Walmart for a year. Like, the entry is 10 and 10. So, dude, you know, I know you don't live in the real world because you're fucking loaded, and you probably never lived in the real world, but, like, where do you think the average rent is?
Oh, right now? Well, where?
Just in
the world?
Yeah,
Or in
just
America?
Give me like a bit, like a, you know.
1,500?
No, 100 for like a little shitty apartment. But like, say you want to buy a house, bro, your mortgage is gonna be like $3,000-$4,000. So it's like you're telling an American to make 10 and 10. If you lose, you're gonna make 10, and then you got to pay your management, then you got to pay your training, then you got to pay taxes. So you're telling an American that you can make $5,000 and you could pay your wage for like a month, 2 months. It's just like, I mean, you're taking our jobs, China man.
I'm losing my $300.
Why this total is heavily juiced to the under at 1.5 rounds, but I've got to find something similar for a better price. Excuse me. I've got to find something similar for a better price. Oh, I'm so sorry. I've got to find something similar for a better price, and I am betting on, oh my goodness. Sorry.